here to do the Staffordshire Way. It's a 96-mile trail through Staffordshire, like the name suggests. We're at Kidsgrove Station, about 4 miles from where the trail starts. So I'm going to do the, I don't know if you can see behind me, the Gritstone Trail. I'm going to do the first 5 miles of that. That's going to take me up to Mow Cop Castle, where the Staffordshire Way starts. And these two trails kind of cross over and I think follow the same way for a little bit. So let's get going. Not a bad start, just leaving the station. It's just a little walk along the canal for, I don't know, maybe half a mile, and then we head north towards the castle. As evidenced by the scary jack-o'-lantern, it's Halloween today, but no Halloween hijinks for me, I'm afraid. Maybe we'll get to see some of those lit up when it gets dark later on, and now the clocks have changed, it does get dark really early, so that's going to make finding spots to camp interesting on this trip, but we'll see how we get on. This is where we leave the canal, and then there's about half a mile of what looks like mostly road walking, and then we'll be at the start of the Staffordshire Way. And we can that's this message here: keep thyself pure. Unfortunately, the well's not there anymore, so I guess I can't do that. This will be where the start of the Staffordshire Trail is. There you go, there's Mow Cop Castle. Let's go up and take a quick look round. This will take my seat out of the wind. Mow Cop Castle then. Actually a late 18th century folly, if I got that right. But more importantly, it marks the start of the Staffordshire Way. It's been about 2 weeks since I finished Offers Dyke Path. It's given me the opportunity to get shorn and shaved, and I've swapped out a few pieces of kit for this one. Now it's getting into winter, the weather's getting a bit colder. I think the sleeping bag I had with me last time had reached its limit, so I've got a new sleeping bag that I'm going to show you tonight when we pitch up. And also, basically the same goes for my jacket. That was a packable, lightweight summer jacket that I had, and it wasn't really taking that much of a downpour for it to just kind of wet out and start getting really damp on the inside from water coming through. So I swapped out for a new jacket and a couple of other little bits and pieces that I'll point out as and when I use them. Let's get going then. The Old Man of Mow. It's a pillar of gritstone about 20 metres tall that was left after all of the stone around it was quarried out and used for buildings and road surfacing. According to the information board I'm next to, that was left there because it was made of poor quality gritstone, which, I don't know, seems like throwing some shade there, information board. It's going dark at 5 o'clock at the moment. And then finding someone to pitch before then. That means I'm going to be really looking for someone to pitch from about 3:45, 4 o'clock. Still, we'll see. I thought this was a trig point at first when I was walking up to it, but it's not. It's one of these landmark things. So interestingly, I don't know if you can see it on camera, just there, the big radar dish looking thing, that's Jodrell Bank radio telescope. Moss on this tree, it's pretty cool. One thing to know about this trail, at least the first part of it where the Gritstone Way and the Staffs Way follow the same path, is the Gritstone Way is really well signposted. But the little way markers for the Staffordshire Way are few and far between, so if you've got a map to just check that, because at some point these two are going to diverge. It hasn't happened yet, but at some point they will. Just worth keeping an eye on a map to make sure you don't kind of plough straight on down the Gritstone Trail and miss your turning. Hey. Yeah, inevitably. Having a 2-week break was nice and all, but it does feel really good to be back out on trip. Welcome to Cheshire. This whole strip that we're walking down now is a nature reserve. When you look at it on a map, it's just like a really long, thin strip. You can hear off to the side probably cars from the road. But from what I can see around here, there's no sign of them. Just come through the yard of this farmhouse. This is absolutely spot on walking with. What's this? So the sign says diverted footpath, but this is actually, as far as I can tell, the way the Staffordshire Way is supposed to go. So I don't know if it's talking about a different footpath that's been diverted or the diversion's just round the corner past where we can see, but let's find out. As far as I can tell, this is the marked path, so I don't know what that diversion sign was talking about. Here we go, the road behind me. This is where the Gritstone Trail and Staffordshire Way part company. I'll show you on the signs. This is us, taking a left up this road. You see on that one, Gritstone Trail does a right up that way. And you see the fun of walking this time of year. It's 4:30 and the sun's already started to drop in the sky. I think sunset's going to be in about 20 minutes. Like, I think it's just before 5, and then it should be dark. I don't know, certainly no later than 5:30. So really the next suitable pitch I find I'm going to stop at, which is a crazy early time to stop. Certainly that's what I'm going to do today. Let's see as the week goes on. Maybe I'll do some more night walking, I'm not sure. As soon as I find somewhere to pitch, I'm going to do that. The cloud. Right, I found a possibility. This little space here by this tree, there's no roots or anything, and I can kick any twigs and stones out the way. I'm going to walk on for another 5 or 10 minutes to see if there's anything a little bit better, but if not, that'll be me for the night. It still feels weird to be stopping as early as this though. This is a little bit further on, and you can see kind of from here the path's all on a bit of an angle. So I think I'm going to check as far as that tree there, and then I'm going to go back to the place we've just been past, which is just like about 3-4 minutes walk back. Right, that's me pitched for the night. My only concern is the ground's a lot softer than I thought here. I'm a little bit worried that some of those pegs aren't going to hold, so I've double pegged them where I can, and it's just going to be fingers crossed. But I don't think it's forecast to rain tonight, and it's not especially windy at the moment, and obviously we're pretty sheltered in the trees here, so should be okay. But yeah, hopefully the tent won't come crashing down on me in the middle of the night, because that'll be mildly annoying. Started to get everything out, and even just part way through setting the tent up, the first thing you notice is the amount of junk I've brought with me to start off with is crazy. Chaos corner compared with how much was in there at the end of the last trip. To be fair, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to get used up pretty quickly. There's like a bunch of fresh fruit there, like half a dozen bananas, a bunch of kiwi fruit, things like that, and a bunch of these like wet meals. So that will actually reduce in size fairly quickly. But for like the amount of stuff that was in my bag, not super heavy, but just the volume of junk was insane. So I'll be looking forward to working that down over the next 2 or 3 days. Honestly, there's apart from stopping at places, I'm not sure when I'm going to need to stop for food again. There's so much food there, and some more stuff in the bottom of the bag as well, in the tent compartment. Oh, there's the first new piece of kit as well. That's the white enamel cup that I had. All the enamel on the inside started cracking and flaking off, and it was getting pretty gross, I think, just where it had been dinged up. So I've got this. It's a double-walled titanium cup. It's a bit smaller than the other one. This is 375ml, but given that all I used it for was for like hot drinks, this is actually the perfect size. It was just a cheap generic one off of Amazon. It did come with a lid that fitted in, and like a string drawer bag that goes around it, but I've not brought those with me. And I got the weather forecast wrong. It's actually going to rain all night, although not heavily, so we've got that. So it's like 5:30, 5:45, something like that. It's definitely too early to settle down. It's kind of too early to eat, really. I don't really want to eat for another hour, maybe eat in an hour and a half and then try and get my head down an hour after that. I don't know. Sunrise tomorrow is 7:15 or thereabouts. I'm going to set my alarm for 7. I think I'm just going to start having my alarm set for 7 every day from now on. As sunrise gets later and later, heading into winter, it's too late to be getting up on a regular basis. So it is raining fairly heavily, and one of the consequences of the tent being pitched a little bit sloppily like this is, and you can see there, the water coming through the seam bit, coming through the seam there, which is not great. I'm going to give it another hour and see what it's like. And then, yeah, if it looks like this is going to get really bad and water coming in and it's raining all night, I might have to go outside and try and adjust it. It's really bad. I think really what I need is a few days of good weather. Then I think like I mentioned before, I can go around and put more seam seal all around the tent and do all the inside seams as well. Unfortunately, a few days of good weather is something that might not happen for several months now, so I don't know. Anyway, let's see how it goes. And yeah, that's what I can show you now. This is one of the other bits of kit that I've got. So the two big bits of kit that I replaced is this. There's a new sleeping bag. It's a Rad Neutrino 400. Which is a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller and packed than the bag I had before, but it's a lot warmer. It's a down bag, and the other one was a synthetic one, so I should be really toasting warm in that tonight. And then just down here, I'll give you a proper look tomorrow, is a Mountain Warehouse Lotsie jacket, which is a proper winter-worthy waterproof jacket, as opposed to the Montane one I had that was like a lightweight summer one. Let's see if I need to go outside and adjust that pitch. I hope not. I hope not. You can hear that? It's like sleeping inside a drum. Or at least lying inside the drum. There's not a lot of sleep happening. Still, at least the tent's holding up so far.